Hi, my name's Richard Bamforth and I'm here to tell you about the Keeway TXM125. There's two reasons why I want to tell you about it. One, it's a very good bike, and for £1,800 it's a bargain. And two, there's not a lot of information on YouTube or around the web about this bike for you to be able to compare to other machines of this caliber. Okay? The TXM125 is based for learner riders, and it's obviously restricted to the legal amount of horsepower and all that kind of usual rubbish for a 125L plate. It's got a top speed of about 55-60 mile an hour, and it returns something in the region of about 80 miles per gallon. This particular model cost £1,800 on the road. It was brand new. It's now 4 months old, and it's done 3,000 kilometers, which is just under 2,000 miles. As you can see, it's really stood up the test of time, and the stickers and that are looking absolutely great. My 17-year-old rides this machine, and he rides it in all sorts of weather, and it's really stood up to the test of time. We have had no problems with this machine at all. The engine on the machine is based around the Honda CG125, and it's nice and easy to use. There are no shocks or surprises. It's got a rev limiter on it which protects the engine from being thrashed, which is really good for 17 and 18-year-olds, because then you can't damage the engine. As I said, it's done 3,000 kilometers. It's ready for an oil service right now, but the oil still looks nice and clean. It's been a really good engine. It's been absolutely reliable. When it's thrown it down with rain, it doesn't splutter. It's got the power, it's got the reliability, and it's got the economy. The tank holds somewhere in the region of about 12 litres, maybe just a little less, and that gives it a good range. It's got a really nice seat, not something you usually find on a 125. The seat's nice and wide, it's really padded well, it's really comfortable. There are no sharp edges on it to get you sore or anything like that when you're going on a long ride. The instrument panel is really clear, and it tells you all the usual stuff. Especially at night, it's really clear, nice to read, easy on the eye, and doesn't distract you from the road ahead. The gearbox, it's got a 5-speed gearbox, simple to use. It goes straight into gear, it doesn't mess around, there's no false neutrals or anything like that. It's been a dream, absolute dream, this gearbox. Obviously with a 17-year-old riding it, he loves to pop wheelies and all that usual stuff, and he doesn't seem to have any problem with it, and neither does the frame or the suspension. Suspension seems to put up with the odd wheelie now and then. That's really good. The front suspension, it's a bit soft, but it's typical of this price range, and it's typical of a £3,500 Honda of the typical caliber of this kind of bike. It's just a little spongy. However, that's what you get for a 125. The brakes on it, the front brake is absolutely spot on. Absolutely no problems there. No problems at all. It comes with a standard set of tyres, and these tyres have now done 2,000 miles, and there's still plenty of tread on it. Plenty of tread, so these tyres are doing really well. And bearing in mind there's a 17-year-old that's handling this, so he throws it around, and he has no mechanical sympathy, as most 17-year-olds don't. So he keeps on pushing it to the limit, and has a good time. The back suspension's much better than the front. It's much stiffer, much more solid, as is the back brake's very good as well. The disc brake on this is really smart, it's really clean. You can really feel it on the road as you apply pressure on the pedal, and it gives a good response through the foot. You can feel everything, and there's no problem there. Just moving up. The exhaust is nice and quiet, which is great for the neighbours. really quiet. So I know there's aftermarket exhaust for this that'll make it nice and throaty. If you want to attract the police, that's absolutely great, but it doesn't really give it any more power. So that's about it. When we come to the lights are really strong. That's just the rear, that's just the side light. It's really strong. The front lights, they're really cool as well. And ironically, on this machine you can actually turn the lights completely off. Now, I thought the European law was that the minimum a motorcycle had to have at least was the side light nowadays, but not on this particular machine. I have to keep on reminding my 17-year-old to keep his lights on when he's riding. However, he only listens to me so far, and that's about it. It's got a manual choke here. The clutch is now 2,000 miles old, and it's lovely and soft. It's still nice and soft and responsive. It's still got lots of early grab early on, even though he's still popping wheelies, and that's really good. So it seems to be standing up the test of time. The bodywork looks good all round. It's a good buy, £1,800, buys you a brand new machine, or you can obviously go out and get something like a Honda and pay £2,500 and not know its history. There we go.